Good evening, everyone. So, what's up? Greetings कम आई हैं अभी. Not everyone has joined. मोहित सैनी, किरण शुक्ला, भूमिका, उस्तत सिंह, दर्शन सी, मलय, बाग, दीक्षा अग्रवाल, लोगा सुंदर. Okay, Kiran says all well. So, did you guys go through the chapter from the study mat? How did you find the chapter till now? Any queries? Shubham, Krishna, Pathak ji. Okay. सोनाली, मरियम. तो कैसा था चैप्टर अभी तक कहाँ पर, अगर आप लोगों ने स्टडी मेट से पढ़ा हो, एज कम्पेयर टू वॉट एवर ऑडिट यू हैव स्टडीड टिल नाउ? थोड़ा टेक्निकल, थोड़ा कंप्यूटर्स, राइट? आज ये चैप्टर खत्म करेंगे विद द अदर टॉपिक्स. वेरी थियोरेटिकल, या कुड बी. सो लेट अस revise what we did in the last session. So we started with how are we categorizing the chapter. Part 1 general, part 2 risk control and testing, part 3 was miscellaneous important topics. We covered part 1 and part 2 in the previous session, and we will be covering part 3 in today's session. Okay, and we'll be doing some questions from the past ICI examinations and some MCQs and the case study, right? चलिए, so थोड़ा ब्रीफिंग ले लें. आप MCQs और केस स्टडी करेंगे तो पिछले चैप्टर की भी एक ब्रीफिंग ले लेते हैं. ठीक, हमने किया था ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट का मीनिंग, द डेफिनेशन, द फीचर्स. देन द चैप्टर इन्वॉल्व्स टेक्नोलॉजी भूमिका. We can't avoid it, right? That is why it is technical. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So guys, whatever notes you are getting over here, that's the same as study material. I've just categorized it into different topics and subtopics and slides for a better indexing of topics. So you read from the study mat or from the notes, it's one and the same thing. I've just limited it in the notes. I've just limited some of the things. So if you want a wide horizon, then you can always refer the study mat, the pictures, the question answers, and the examples, right? Then we did relevance of IT in audit. Then this exam question, situations in which IT will be relevant to an audit. Then we moved on to the part 2, risks controls in an automated environment, understanding the risk 315, SA 315, then considerations by the auditor, documentation of whatever auditor has studied, understood. Then we went on to study about the risks, and I told you the risks part. This one, I told you that this is also an important exam question. Okay. Sayyid Jasir Ahmed, I have already uploaded this, will be available to you soon. I've uploaded all the notes related to this chapter. There is the notes which we are doing, the presentations, and then there are MCQs. MCQs are with answers, and then there is a chapter chart. I'll be discussing with you what is a chapter chart. But this is an aid while you revise, while you study for your audit subject during exams or any subject. Then I'll be uploading the case study today because I had to discuss it with you. I had to solve it with you over here during this class. Only afterwards I'll upload the case study as well. That is it. And Darshan, your question is quite relevant. If you could please ask me this question after we are over with our session, I'll definitely help you out on this. Okay, so risk associated, then the next was impact of IT related risk. And I told you this was also an exam question. So this chapter is quite a straightforward chapter. Like you have chapter 1, 2, 3, where questions, sometimes the student gets confused. This question has been asked from what topic? Sometimes it is an, integration of topics. With this chapter, you are going to get straightforward questions, almost. Right? There is no word play like thing with the questions to be asked from this chapter. इस चैप्टर में से बहुत इजी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और बहुत डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. आपको कंसेप्ट समझ में आना चाहिए, आपको टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज लिखनी आनी चाहिए और आपको पता होना चाहिए आपने किस क्वेश्चन का क्या आंसर देना है. डोंट बी अ फूल अराउंड द बुश, राइट? Okay, then the types of IT controls: general, application, IT dependent. The CRs, as I told you, confidentiality, integrity, availability and security. इन चारों वर्ड्स का मतलब हमने अच्छे से समझा था पिछले सेशन में, ठीक? Then the types of IT controls: general IT controls, we did them in detail. Data center and network operations, program change, access security, and application system acquisition, development and maintenance, right? इसके बाद हम आए थे टेस्टिंग मेथड्स पे: इंक्वायरी, ऑब्जर्वेशन, इंस्पेक्शन, रीपरफॉर्मेंस. Then we went on to some considerations about this testing methods, which is the most efficient, which one is the most effective, and we also cleared the difference between efficient and effectiveness, efficiency and effectiveness, right? Okay, then some questions from the previous session. The complexity of a business environment depends on the level of automation. That is, if a business environment is more automated, it is likely to be less complex. So we've just played with one word, this one. If it is more automated, the notes say it is more complex, and there it is written less complex. Obviously, it is an incorrect statement. Then in an audit of financial statements, the primary focus is around those risks that are relevant to financial reporting. So answer to second question, please. Answer to second question: in an audit of financial statements, the primary focus is around those risks that are relevant to financial reporting. Correct or incorrect? Okay, Diksha says incorrect. Kanchan says correct. Okay, so the answer is incorrect. Okay. There could be other non-audit assurance engagements that the auditors may be involved, wherein the area of focus could include those IT risks relevant to companies' compliance and business operations, in addition to financial reporting risks. See, like I told you, I gave you an example of IT controls, CCTV, biometrics. So they might, the primary focus is not always, about financial reporting. Yes, the audit is always with respect to the financial statements, but there could be other non-audit. Non-audit is, you're not going by the financial statements. Non-audit assurance engagements. The auditor gives an assurance that the controls are working properly, right? So examples of such non-audit assurance engagements are internal audits, IT audits, pre-implementation. Pre-implementation reviews is जो हमने पढ़ा था सिस्टम एक्विजिशन डेवलपमेंट. तो सिस्टम, नए सिस्टम को इंप्लीमेंट करने से पहले प्री इंप्लीमेंटेशन उसका रिव्यू किया जाए. डेटा माइग्रेशन ऑडिट्स, as if you could remember, I gave you the example of the income tax website. Third party assurances, like, hence IT is relevant to an audit under different situations, चाहे वो audit हो, चाहे वो non audit हो, to meeting regulatory compliance requirements. ठीक. हिमांशु, ये कहीं ना कहीं कनेक्टेड होता है, ठीक है. In an audit of financial statements, the primary focus is around those risks that are relevant to financial reporting. See, those risks that are relevant to financial reporting, but there could be other engagements as well which could be indirectly affecting your financial statements. Indirectly, you could form a chain. We cannot leave aside those risks. For example, if there is a fraud, can you say that the financial statements were in the custody of the authorized personnel, right? And how could the fraud have occurred? एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल इंसान के पास हमारा सब डेटा था और उस डेटा के साथ कुछ भी टैंपरिंग नहीं हुई है, इंटीग्रिटी कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी मेंटेन्ड है, तो फ्रॉड कैसे हो सकता है ना. अब हम फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स की बात करते हैं, पर कुछ कनेक्टेड फैक्टर्स भी हैं साथ में. कनेक्टेड फैक्टर्स क्या हो सकते हैं? एक्सेस सिक्योरिटी, प्रोग्राम चेंजेस, ठीक. Directly it might not be there, but indirectly other risks could also affect what is there in the financial statement. I hope, Himanshu, I'm clear. Just let me know, otherwise I'll give another example. Okay, with the introduction of Companies Act 2013, there is a greater emphasis given to internal financial controls from regulatory point of view. Quite correct. We did it in the last session. Then many companies use less complex IT systems, including desktop-based accounting or spreadsheets. In such situations, the relevance of IT to an audit could be less. Quite okay. Correct hai? Okay, descriptive questions. When a business operates in a more automated environment, it is likely that we as auditors will see several business functions and activities happening within the system. Explain which of the aspects you will consider relevant as an auditor. So वो कौन से ऐसे aspects हैं जो as an auditor हमें ध्यान में रखने हैं when we are auditing in an automated environment. कौन से aspects हैं? Computation and calculations are automatically being carried out. For example, during bank audits, bank interest computations. In manufacturing concerns, they have special softwares. They value the inventory accordingly as per the data fed into them. Accounting entries are posted automatically. For example, sub-ledger to general ledger postings are automatic. You have just passed one entry. For example, we have passed that expense, tea and entertainment expense, to cash. So all the entries will be getting affected automatically in the cash ledger. Further, if we have grouped cash ledger accordingly in that particular ledger. So you need not maintain, like in physical, we had to maintain two registers. This is an expense register. वहाँ पे entry डाली, then दूसरी तरफ दूसरे ledger में अलग से entry डालनी पड़ेंगी. When we used to maintain physical बही खाताs. Business policies and procedures, including internal controls, are applied automatically. For example, delegation of authority for journal approval, customer credit limit checks are performed automatically. A limit is set in the system that when the tea and entertainment expenses cross 10,000 for a particular month, no entry should be allowed to made into it because 10,000 is the limit. This particular debtor or debtor, we have supplied this particular debtor our stock or our goods up to the value of 1 lakh. After 1 lakh, no more credit to this debtor unless and until we get some cash from him, some recovery from him of the previous balance. तो ऐसी लिमिट्स आप सेट कर सकते हैं. इस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन की सैलरी 2 महीने की सैलरी हम किसी भी एम्प्लॉय को हम एडवांस दे सकते हैं. 3rd मंथ की सैलरी जब उसे क्रेडिट करने लगेंगे, सिस्टम विल शो अ फेलियर मैसेज. भी आप किसी भी एम्प्लॉय को 2 महीने तक की सैलरी दे सकते हैं एडवांस में, तीसरे महीने की नहीं दे सकते. तो जब आप तीसरे महीने की भी क्रेडिट करने लगेगा, कोई मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन से क्रेडिट करने लगेगा, तो सिस्टम वहां पे एरर दे देगा. ठीक. So these are the kind of internal controls which could be automated. Reports used in businesses are produced from these systems. Management and other stakeholders rely, they place their trust on these reports. For example, debtors aging report. What is the debtors aging report? How old are the debtors? Categorized 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 year. आप देखेंगे सॉफ्टवेयर में डेटर्स की एजिंग रिपोर्ट निकलती है. 6 महीने पुराने डेटर्स अलग कैटेगराइज होते हैं, 3 महीने वाले अलग होते हैं, 1 साल वाले अलग होते हैं, 1 साल से ज्यादा वाले अलग होते हैं. दैट इज अ डेटर्स एजिंग रिपोर्ट. User access and security are controlled by assigning system roles to users. For example, segregation of duties can be enforced effectively. आप किस सिस्टम, अपने सिस्टम पे बैठ के आप कौन से डेटा को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. जब हमने एक्सेस सिक्योरिटी की बात की, तो ये 5 चीजें हैं, 5 और भी हो सकती हैं, जो एक ऑडिटर को एक ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट के अंदर उसको कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा. ये कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं. दिस इज एन इंक्लूसिव लिस्ट, नॉट एन एक्सक्लूसिव वन. ये कुछ एग्जांपल्स बताई हैं उन्होंने, जो एक ऑडिटर को इन एग्जांपल्स के बेसिस पे वो और भी बहुत चीजें देख सकता है एक ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट के अंदर. ये कुछ बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज और फंक्शंस हैं जो कि ऑटोमेटिकली हो रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज एन ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट. ठीक. Okay. Next question. With the increasing adoption, okay, एक लाइन है, उसके बाद पूछ रहे मीनिंग ऑफ ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट विद एग्जांपल. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ओके, नाउ फ्रॉम पार्ट 2, रिस्क वाला जो पार्ट हमने फिनिश किया था पिछली बार, उसके अंदर से आपके लिए करेक्ट इनकरेक्ट. Inquiry alone is sufficient to test the operating effectiveness of controls. ये आप लोग बताएंगे मुझे करेक्ट है या इनकरेक्ट. यस भूमिका, राइट, क्वाइट राइट. चलिए, इसका आंसर आप बताएंगे मुझे. बी पार्टिसिपेटिव. सिर्फ पढ़ना नहीं है हमें. यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स बोल रहे हैं थ्योरेटिकल. अब उस थ्योरी को अप्लाई भी करना है. क्वेश्चंस करेंगे, प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, उतना हम ज्यादा अच्छे से जो कंसेप्ट्स हैं उनको समझ पाएंगे और अप्लाई कर पाएंगे. एक्चुअली जब आप थ्योरेटिकल कंसेप्ट्स को क्रैम करते हैं तो एग्जाम तक पहुंचते पहुंचते मुश्किल हो जाता है उसको एग्जाम में प्रेजेंट करना. पर जब आप उन्हें समझ लेते हैं और उसके बाद आप उन्हें लर्न करते हैं तो इट बिकम्स ईजियर. और थ्योरी को समझने के लिए साथ साथ प्रैक्टिकली अप्लाई करना है. ठीक. हम ऑडिट पे नहीं जा सकते अभी, बट हम बैठे बैठे यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन एटलीस्ट सॉल्व कर सकते हैं फ्रॉम एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. Okay, Bhumika says incorrect. Diksha says incorrect. Sudhanshu, Guduri, Lok Sundar, Sonali, Shubham, Manisha, Kiran, Kanchan, Darshan. Yes, all are right. Incorrect. Because we have read it is the most efficient but the least effective. Right? So inquiry, you can use with other audit procedures like observation, inspection, external confirmation. When auditing in an automated environment, inquiry is often the most efficient and effective audit testing method. Second का आंसर बताइए. Yes, Shivangini, Varsha, Mohit, all are right. Ahmed. Second का आंसर, when auditing in an automated environment, inquiry is often the most efficient and effective audit testing method. Incorrect. Because we read in the last class that inquiry might be the most efficient, but it is the least effective. Sonali, how is it correct? ओके, चलिए थर्ड. The different categories of control over IT systems are interrelated. Yes, correct or incorrect? The different categories of control over IT systems are interrelated. Okay, आप लोग जब आंसर्स दे रहे हैं ना तो प्लीज राइट क्वेश्चन नंबर विद दैट. 1 2 3. आप अपनी जगह सही हो सकते हैं, आप इनकरेक्ट बोल रहे हो और मैं करेक्ट वाले पे पहुंच गया हूँ और मुझे लगे आप गलत बोल रहे हैं. ठीक, तो अपने आंसर के साथ आप जरूर साथ में सीक्वेंस नंबर लिखें. Third one, the different categories are, it's quite easy. Yes, correct. We read about general controls, application controls, and IT dependent controls. And application and IT dependent both require general controls. I told you general controls are the oxygen to the computer systems. Good. So to rely on the system and application based information, including data, reports, automated controls, configuration, calculations, and IT dependent, it is essential to first determine the existence and effectiveness of general IT controls. Yes. Answer to the fourth question. Okay. Everybody says correct. Agreed. IT dependent controls are known as pervasive controls or indirect controls. अब ये कोई गलत मत करना, इसमें कुछ डिफिकल्टी नहीं है. अगर आपने चैप्टर पढ़ा है, कंसेप्ट अच्छे से पढ़े, तो दिस इज अ डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन. IT dependent controls are known as pervasive controls or indirect controls. Correct or incorrect? And if correct, fine. If it incorrect, what is the correction? Bhumika, what are you up to? भूमिका अच्छे से पढ़ो स्टेटमेंट. नो किरण, नो तनीषा. मोहित. वेरी गुड हिमांशु. हिमांशु ने साथ में आंसर भी दिया है. वेरी गुड. Incorrect. General IT controls were known as pervasive controls or indirect controls. तुमने डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन के तो सही आंसर दे दिए और इजी क्वेश्चन का गलत दे रहे हो सब. ये देखो हमने यहाँ किया था ना. Here you come. यहाँ पे किया था देखो. These are the IT controls generally implemented to mitigate the IT specific risks and applied commonly across multiple systems, applications, and business processes. Hence, general IT controls are known as pervasive controls or indirect controls. ठीक, चलिए. Discuss the common methods applied by the auditor when testing in an automated environment done by him. Okay, so these are the common methods. Fine. This is a question. Common methods to be applied by the auditor when testing in an automated environment. Audit test tools are inquiry, observation, inspection, and reperformance. These are the specific methods. The before applying these specific methods, right, what are the common methods? The first step, common methods which are applicable to every further testing tool. Obtain an understanding of how an automated transaction is processed by doing a walkthrough of one end-to-end transaction using a combination of inquiry, observation and inspection. ये कॉमन मेथड्स हैं जो आप कोई भी मेथड यूज करें, इंक्वायरी, ऑब्जर्वेशन, रीपरफॉर्मेंस, उन सब में ये सपोर्ट करेंगे आपको. तो कोई एक ट्रांजैक्शन उठा लीजिए, लाइक इफ यू हैव टेकन अप अ ट्रांजैक्शन ऑफ अ सेल. So how is a sale affected? How is the entry recorded? What are the controls over there while recording this particular entry affecting a sale? From 0 to Z, A to Z, right? From A to Z, you have to do everything. ठीक? Observe how a user processes transaction under different scenarios. Just a second. There is some. Just a second. Okay. Inspect the configuration defined in an application. This is a technical term. Configuration will come to it. Configuration is basically the application's various features. It is one of the features of an application. Inspect the system logs to determine any changes made since last audit testing. Inspect technical manual, user manual of systems and applications. What do they tell about their usage? Carry out a test check, negative testing, and observe the error message displayed by the application. What is a negative testing? For example, the system is should prohibit one of the transactions, right? For example, what I do, I'll debit cash and credit cash. What is this? This is a negative testing. The system should prohibit me from passing this kind of entry. It should display an error message, right? Even if it is a different petty cash account or a general cash account, it is a different thing. But the same account I'm debiting and crediting, it should not let me do that. If it displays an error message, obviously the controls are good. While getting an entry, giving an entry into the system, the user has a password. And the password is confidential. If I can punch in any ABC or alphanumeric password and it is letting me in, the controls are weak. Conduct reperformance using raw source data and independently applying formally business rules or validations in the source data. We have a question, Yasir. We have a question with respect to that. We'll discuss with that question. Yes, like the configuration you have in Tele Sonali. Same. Okay. List any 4 points that an auditor should consider to obtain an understanding of the company's automated environment. 4 marks question. We did this in the previous session. The auditor should understand and consider the risks that may arise from the use of IT systems. We did that in the previous session, right? Same question, 4 marks. Okay. Analyze how risks in the IT system, if not mitigated, could have an impact on the audit. 3 marks. We did it. Impact on controls. Impact on controls is here. Impact on substantive audit procedures. And okay, now that was all with the previous session, a detailed revision. Now we move to our today's session part. Any queries till now, you can put up in the query session. So there is a glossary at the end of the chapter in your study material as well. We are going to understand some of the important terms from that glossary with the help of examples over here. Applications. What are applications? These are computer software programs that provide a medium for recording, storage, and retrieval of business operations or transactions in an electronic format. What is that? See, like your Word file, your mailbox, videos, drive, your gallery. These are all applications. This is what applications is. Now coming to ERP, a type of business application software that provides an integrated, we discussed what is integrated in the last session. Platform is an interface. You're working on this, the screen, that is the interface to automate multiple interrelated business operations and processes, as I told you in the previous session. एग्जाम्पल ली थी हमने, एक मटेरियल चाहिए, रिक्वायर्ड है फैक्ट्री के अंदर, उसको ऑर्डर प्लेस करने के लिए, उसके कोड्स लेने के लिए, उसकी डिलीवरी के लिए, एवरीथिंग इज इंटीग्रेटेड. Okay, this is very important. Control deficiency. The picture is covering it. Let me just quickly rectify it. Okay. So these three terms are really important, and students tend to get confused between these three terms. So make sure that you understand these three terms quite clearly. The first one is control deficiency. What is a control deficiency? A deficiency in controls. There is a security person employed at the gate. When I am entering the factory or the office of the company, I found him sleeping. Control deficiency. The CCTV cameras are not working properly. Control deficiency. I can enter any combination as a password and I get access to the company system. Control deficiency. So these are examples of control deficiency. अब एक कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी सबसे जनरल नॉर्मल लेवल की डेफिशिएंसी. कब वो कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी ऐसी है भी वो सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी बन जाए, और ऐसी कौन सी कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी है जो सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी के बाद मटेरियल वीकनेस बन जाए. सो लेवल डेफिशिएंसी का बढ़ता जा रहा है, जो हमारे लिए ज्यादा खराब हो सकता है. कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी इज द सिंपलेस्ट वन. ऐसी कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी जो हमारे लिए खराब हो सकती है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए बिकम सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी. एंड सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी भी अपर लेवल मटेरियल वीकनेस. वो क्या है आइए देखें. ओके, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, वेट. It's visible now, I hope so. So हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी, सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी एंड मटेरियल वीकनेस, राइट? कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी और ज्यादा ग्रीव्ड हो तो सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी बनती है, सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी से बनती है मटेरियल वीकनेस। नॉर्मल कंट्रोल, थोड़ी और अग्रीव्ड सिग्निफिकेंट, और लेवल हाई हो गया डेफिशिएंसी का मटेरियल वीकनेस, एंड दिस इज नॉट गुड फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। तो कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी कब होती है? कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी एग्जिस्ट व्हेन एन इंटरनल कंट्रोल इज ईदर मिसिंग, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड था ही नहीं, सीसीटीवी लगे ही नहीं हुए थे, और नॉट ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवली, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड सो रहा था, सीसीटीवी खराब था, टू प्रिवेंट, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड जागा होता तो मेरे को अंदर आने से रोकता, टू प्रिवेंट अ मिसस्टेटमेंट, और टू डिटेक्ट, सीसीटीवी काम कर रहा होता तो वो चेक कर पाते कि कोई और अनऑथराइज्ड पर्सन अंदर एंटर किया है, इन अ टाइमली मैनर बाय द मैनेजमेंट। मैं आपको जनरल एग्जांपल्स दे रहा हूं, हम उसे जब फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर लगाएंगे तब भी हमारी ये डेफिशिएंसीज निकल के आती है। दर्शन जब ज्यादा भागते हैं ना, डोंट ट्राई टू रन, you might find the definition of significant deficiency and material weakness almost the same, but you just read it twice, thrice, you'll get a difference, and the difference is just one word. It leads to a control risk, Shivangi. So control deficiency exists when an internal control is either missing or not operating effectively to prevent or detect a misstatement in a timely manner by the management. अब देखिए कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी कब बनेगी? A control deficiency or a combination of such deficiencies, combination with और बहुत ऐसी control deficiencies हैं, एक ही example नहीं है, combination in internal controls that is important enough to merit means attract the attention of those charged with governance. यहां पे तो आप मैनेजमेंट ठीक कर लेती है उसको, यहां पे those charged with governance को पता होना चाहिए, उनकी टेंशन लानी होगी इस बात पे, since there is a reasonable possibility that a misstatement will not be prevented or detected in a timely manner by the management. ऐसी कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी जिसके ऊपर दोज चार्ज विद गवर्नेंस का ध्यान आकर्षित करना जरूरी है, क्योंकि ऑडिटर को ये लग रहा है भी बहुत पॉसिबिलिटी है ये मिसस्टेटमेंट को जन्म देगी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में, क्योंकि मैनेजमेंट का ध्यान इसके ऊपर से स्किप हो सकता है। अ कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी वेयर द ऑडिटर फील्स दैट द मैनेजमेंट माइट नॉट बी एबल टू prevent or detect it in a timely manner, and the attention of those charged with governance needs to be brought over this matter, this deficiency. That is a significant deficiency. हमारी एग्जांपल थी सीसीटीवी वाली. फॉर एग्जांपल, while entering the company, the security guard is sleeping, but what is important? The server room. The server room biometrics are also not working properly. Significant deficit. Yes, Darshan, right. Now comes, after significant deficiency, material weakness. So Darshan pointed out rightly, after making the same mistake as any student or I would do, the definition seems to be same with the difference of just one word, and that is material. A control deficiency or a combination of deficiencies in internal controls that is important enough to merit the attention of those charged with governance, since there is a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement will not be prevented or detected in a timely manner by the management. Now here was only misstatement. It was only misstatement over here. But now this misstatement has become material when we came to material weakness. So when it is simple, it is a control deficiency. मैनेजमेंट टाइमली अपना एक्शन ले ले, इट्स फाइन. जहां पे ऑडिटर को लगे मैनेजमेंट स्किप कर सकती है टाइमली एक्शन लेना, दैट इज अ सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी. और ऐसी डेफिशिएंसी मटेरियल वीकनेस, एंट्री के टाइम पे सिक्योरिटी गार्ड सो रहा है, आपके सर्वर रूम के बायोमेट्रिक्स काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, और सर्वर रूम के अंदर एंटर करने के बाद भी अलार्म नहीं बजाया, कोई भी सर्वर को एक्सेस कर पा रहा है. मटेरियल वीकनेस. ठीक. तो सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी और मटेरियल वीकनेस के बीच का डिफरेंस जो है वो ये मटेरियल वर्ड है. इसको आप ध्यान रखिए. मटेरियल वीकनेस से मटेरियल वर्ड बीच में आ गया. ओके. चलिए, मेन फ्रेम कंप्यूटर देख सकते हैं. लार्ज कंप्यूटर, राइट. I told you if you could watch the video of Google head office, you could found many mainframes in that video. These are the mainframe computers, very, very large computers with lots of storage space. Miniframe, a small computer that is intermediate between a microcomputer and a mainframe. So mainframe से आगे आपके डेस्कटॉप, आपके लैपटॉप तक आने वाले जो नेटवर्क है, उसके बीच में जो एक कंप्यूटर आता है उसे बोलते हैं मिनी फ्रेम. राइट. इट इज अ स्मॉल कंप्यूटर. फॉर एग्जांपल, the Google Office, they are extracting data from the mainframe. They have installed mini frames in their office, and from those mini frames different computers and laptops via WAN or LAN are connected. Next, data. Data refers to a digital content that is stored in electronic form within computer systems. What is database? A logical subsystem. What is logical subsystem? The computer, the system has been fed with logic. Whatever you require from the system, आपको system से कुछ भी information चाहिए, आप उसमें जो भी कमांड डालेंगे, अगर वो लॉजिकल हुई, उसके लॉजिक के हिसाब से सही बैठती हुई, तो वो आपको आंसर देगा, नहीं तो वो आपको आंसर नहीं देगा. A logical subsystem within a larger information system where electronic data is stored in a predefined form or retrieved for use. What is direct data change? ये हमने पिछले सेशन में किया था. A back end पे, if you bring a change in data from the back end directly by passing business rules built into a business application software. Right? Fine. That is direct data in direct data change. Database, direct data change. Now, after some of those terms, the third topic, miscellaneous topics, and we come to internal financial controls, IFC. Again, we'll study the definition by dividing it into parts. What are internal financial controls, and the definition is really important. Policies and procedures put in place by companies for ensuring. So, सबसे पहले मेरे को बताइए आप पॉलिसी का मतलब क्या समझते हो? Yes, दर्शन, right. पॉलिसी और प्रोसीजर का मतलब आप क्या समझते हैं? मुझे ये बताइए पहले. What do you understand by the word policies and procedures? अब तक आप सब चैप्टर्स में पढ़ते हैं. पॉलिसीज का मतलब क्या है? प्रोसीजर का मतलब क्या है? कुछ बता सकते हैं मुझे? What do you mean by policies? What are the procedures? Layman language में I want answer. I don't want technical or Google answer. Don't Google and give me the answer, right? I want your answers in layman language. Nobody is going to ask you in an audit exam, what do you mean by policies? What do you mean by procedures? I'm just asking you out just because, asking you about this because I need to know, guys need to know whatever you are reading, you should understand the meaning as well. Very good, Himanshu. Very good, Darshan. Very good, Ahmed. You all know. So policies is what? The rules. Basically, in layman language, the rules and compliances. And procedures is how these rules and compliances are to be adhered to. So policies and procedures put in place by companies for ensuring, what do they need to ensure? Reliability of financial reporting. Whatever financial reports are being produced, being made, they are reliable. Any stakeholder can rely upon the financial reports. Effectiveness and efficiency of operations. The business operations being carried out are effective and efficient. All the laws and regulations are being complied with. सब कानूनों का पालन हो रहा है. कंपनी के, एंटरप्राइज के, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो एसेट्स हैं वो सेफ है, उनकी सेफ्टी का ध्यान रखा जा रहा है. और फ्रॉड्स को प्रिवेंट और डिटेक्ट करने के लिए मैकेनिज्म एस्टैब्लिश्ड है. सो इन पांचों चीजों को लेकर जो पॉलिसीज एंड प्रोसीजर्स बनाए जाएंगे उन्हें कहा जाएगा इंटरनल फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल. ठीक, almost everybody understands what are policies and procedures. This is a definition of internal financial controls. What are internal financial controls? Okay. Companies Act 2013 has placed greater emphasis on effective implementation and reporting on internal controls. So, जिन internal controls की हम यहाँ बात कर रहे थे, right? इन policies and procedures को internal financial controls कहा गया है. ये इफेक्टिवली इंप्लीमेंट किए गए हैं या नहीं किए गए, और इसके ऊपर रिपोर्टिंग मांगी गई है कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 ने अपनी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में. कुछ रिपोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर से मांगी गई है, कुछ रिपोर्टिंग ऑडिटर से मांगी गई है, और वही रिपोर्टिंग किससे क्या मांगी गई है वो हम यहाँ डिस्कस करेंगे. What responsibility has been casted upon the directors as well as the auditors with respect to effective implementation and reporting of internal controls respectively. So here we have a chart, reference responsibility applicability, section 134 subsection 5 clause E. ये board of directors के लिए है और applicable only to listed company. This is just a bird's eye view. Rule 8 sub rule 5 companies accounts rule का board of directors के लिए ही है, सभी companies के ऊपर applicable है, no bar. Section 149 subsection 8 and schedule 4 to the Companies Act सिर्फ इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स के लिए. ऑल कंपनीज हैविंग इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स उनके ऊपर एप्लीकेबल है. सेक्शन 177 ऑडिट कमेटी, जिन कंपनीज को ऑडिट कमेटी की रिक्वायरमेंट है उनके ऊपर एप्लीकेबल है, और ये ऑडिट कमेटी के ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. नाउ द लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, सेक्शन 143 सबसेक्शन 3 क्लॉज 1, ये स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर्स के ऊपर, हर कंपनी के ऊपर एप्लीकेबल. 1 2 3 4 5 लेट अस डिस्कस इन डिटेल ईच वन ऑफ दीज. सबसे पहले पढ़ते हैं सेक्शन 134 सेक्शन 5 क्लॉज ई. इन केस ऑफ लिस्टेड कंपनीज द डायरेक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी स्टेटमेंट, a director has to come forward, the directors have to come forward with the responsibility statement in the director's report where they states their responsibilities and how well they have complied, fulfilled those responsibilities. So listed companies के केस में जो directors responsibility statement होती है वो बताएगी, it shall state that the directors had laid down internal financial controls. कौन से internal financial controls? ये 5. Directors had laid down internal financial controls to be followed by the company. Followed by the company means everyone, the board, the management, the employees, and that such internal financial controls are adequate and were operating effectively. Adequate means whatever is the requirement. Internal financial controls have been put into place as per the requirement and relevance. जितने चाहिए थे उतने हमने बनाए हुए हैं. They are in place, लागू किए हुए हैं. लागू करना ही जरूरी नहीं है, right? सिर्फ it is not necessary that they have been put into place. They should be operating effectively. CCTV लगा देने से कुछ नहीं होगा, वो कैप्चर भी करना चाहिए उसे वीडियो. ठीक. तो दिस इज सेक्शन 134 सबसेक्शन 5 क्लॉज ई. उसके बाद है सेक्शन 143 सबसेक्शन 3 क्लॉज 1 ऑफ द एक्ट. ना ऑडिटर के ऊपर आ रहे हैं. ऑडिटर अपनी रिपोर्ट में ये बताएगा कंपनी ने इंटरनल फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल्स इन प्लेस, एडिक्वेट इंटरनल फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल्स हैव बीन पुट इनटू प्लेस और नॉट, और वो उनकी ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवनेस के ऊपर भी बताएगा. सो डायरेक्टर्स पहले अपना बताएंगे, हाँ जी हमने लगा रखे हैं, पुट इनटू प्लेस एंड दे आर ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवली. अब उन्होंने ऑडिटर को पूछ लिया, डायरेक्टर्स ने अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बता दी. अब आप हमें बताओ डायरेक्टर्स अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पूरी कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे, जो उन्होंने अपनी स्टेटमेंट में कहा है, इज इट ट्रू और नॉट. So auditor will tell in his report whether the financial controls, internal financial controls are adequate, and he'll also comment upon their operating effectiveness. So ये जो section 143 subsection 3 clause 1 है, ये वाला, ये कुछ कंपनीज के ऊपर एप्लीकेबल है, कुछ के ऊपर नहीं है. सभी कंपनीज के ऊपर एप्लीकेबल है, किसके ऊपर एप्लीकेबल नहीं है? Which are the companies which are out of its ambit? Section 143 subsection 3 clause 1. One person company or a small company, this section is not, this particular clause is not applicable. Or there is an or. So in any case, a one person company or a small company, we need not report. For an auditor, he need not report in case of a one person company or a small company. You might have read the definition of small company in your company law. And or any company which has a turnover of less than rupees 50 crore as per the latest audited financial statements. Whatever the latest audited financial statements are available of whichever year, latest audited financial statements, not of whichever year, latest audited financial statements, the last audited, as per those statements, if the turnover means sales, the receipts, turnover, basically, less than rupees 50 crores, means it should not even have touched full 50 crores, less than, not equal to, less than 50 crores. And this is a conjunction and. So these are two simultaneous conditions. These are two simultaneous conditions. For a one-person company or small company, in any case. But for other companies, two conditions to be satisfied simultaneously. The company should have a turnover of less than rupees 50 crore as per the latest audit financial statements, and its aggregate borrowings, aggregate means total of some of the borrowings from banks, financial institutions, or any other body corporate at any point of time during the financial year less than rupees 25 crore. 50 का half कर दिया, less than, not 25, less than. What is important over here is this line, at any point of time. You will not have to look on the closing date of the financial year. At any point of time during the financial year, at any day end, it could be April 30, it could be May 25, it could be November 10, it could be October 5, it could be February 28, it could be March 30. Not concerned with as on the year end value. We are concerned with at any point. आपकी जो एग्रीगेट बोरोइंग्स हैं बैंक्स या फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस या बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट सबकी मिलाकर किसी भी टाइम पे अगर 25 करोड़ हो गई थी या उसके क्रॉस कर गई थी तो ये एप्लीकेबल हो जाएगा आपके ऊपर. अगर आपकी all the time during the previous financial year your aggregate borrowings were less than 25 crore and your turnover was less than 50 crore, then this particular clause is not applicable and the auditor need not report upon internal financial controls and its operating effectiveness. Okay. Section 174 Audit Committee. What should Audit Committee do? It is applicable only on those companies where Audit Committee establishing an Audit Committee is necessary. Audit Committee shall evaluate internal financial controls and the risk management systems in the organization. Now coming to section 149 subsection 8, the company and independent directors. So it is applicable in those cases where there is a provision of appointment of independent directors. Independent directors are those directors, those who do not have any relation with the company, any kind of relation. They are the third persons. Shall their appointment has a proper mechanism. You will read about it in your law. You might have read about it in your law subject, or if not, you will read about independent directors in that case. They shall abide by the provisions specified in Schedule 4. Schedule 4 lays down the code for independent directors. Independent directors अगर किसी कंपनी में हैं, उनको किन चीजों का ध्यान रखना है? There is a code. As per this code, the role and functions of independent directors include that they shall satisfy themselves on the integrity of the financial information. That financial information के साथ छेड़छाड़ नहीं हुई है, जैसी ओरिजिनल थी वैसी ही सब तक पहुंच रही है. The financial controls and risk management systems are robust and defensible. Robust means strong, high strength. Defensible, if someone tries to play with them, the systems are defensible enough that they will show an error message. They'll not let some intruder get into the system. So this is what internal financial controls as per the Companies Act, how Companies Act is laying importance on the adequate provision and operative effectiveness of internal financial controls. And this is a very important topic. You will find it in your today's questions and case studies, how important this topic is. So moving on to the next topic of data analytics, I want to know if there are any queries. जो queries आ रही थी मैं साथ साथ ही explain कर रहा था. But in case if still there are any queries, please come up with it. Darshan, a professional writing is very much requirement for professional exams. Chartered accountancy is a profession and the exams are professional exams. It is highly recommended that you write section numbers, but it is more than highly recommended that you don't write wrong section numbers. Okay? If you don't write section numbers, that is counted as an average answer. If you quote the right section number, that is a good answer. The answer gains strength, whatever you write in the exam. But if you've written everything right, but you write a wrong section, you quote a wrong section, that might have negative effect on your marks. Okay? तो सेक्शन अच्छे लगते हैं अगर आप लिखते हैं, एक प्रोफेशनल टच देते हैं आपके आंसर को, पर गलत सेक्शन नंबर मत लिखें. नहीं आता अवॉइड करें, पर गलत मत लिखें. और ट्राई कीजिए आप जो इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस हैं उनको कोट करने की आदत डालिए. भूमिका एक डायरेक्टर्स की कैटेगरी है, इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स. ये वो डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं जो इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ एनी इन्फ्लुएंस बाय द कंपनी. कुछ कंपनीज के ऊपर प्रोविजंस हैं, उन्हें इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स अपॉइंट करने होते हैं who look into the fair working of the company, and they can act as whistleblowers if there is something wrong going on in the company, right? अब कंपनीज एक्ट ने अपने शेड्यूल 4 में इन इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स के लिए कोड बनाया है, जो कोड के अंदर दो चीजें उनकी इन रोल को लेके ये भी बताई गई हैं दैट इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स जो भी फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन कंपनी की उनके सामने आ रही है, उस फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन की ओरिजिनलिटी एंड जेन्युइनिटी, व्हाट इज कॉल्ड इंटीग्रिटी, को अपने आप को सेटिस्फाई करेंगे भी यस ये सही है, ये छेड़ी नहीं गई हैं फिगर्स, और जो कंपनी के अंदर फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल्स हैं, इंटरनल फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल्स हैं, और रिस्क को मैनेज करने के सिस्टम्स हैं, जैसे ऑडिट कमेटी ऊपर कर रही थी, ये स्ट्रांग है और डिफेंसिबल है। स्ट्रांग मीन्स एडिक्वेट है और इफेक्टिवली ऑपरेट कर रही है। डिफेंसिबल मीन्स अगर कुछ भी इलॉजिकल उन सिस्टम्स को कमांड दी जाती है और उन सिस्टम से एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है, वो नहीं कर पाते। उनका एल्गोरिदम ऐसा फिक्स है, वो नहीं करेंगे ऐसा कुछ काम। सिस्टम ऐसा कोई भी आपको इंफॉर्मेशन या डेटा नहीं देगा जो अनऑथोराइज्ड हो, तो वो डिफेंसिबल भी है। Mohit, rule 8 is the procedure. Okay, rule 8 is the procedure. Act tells you what needs to be done, and rule tells you how that has to be done. Okay. Independent director is not compulsory for all companies. You will read, if you have not read, please refer your law chapter. There are limits. There are prescribed classes of companies where appointment of independent directors is mandatory. Same answer for to you, Ahmed. There are prescribed classes of companies. There are limits set which need to appoint an audit committee. चलिए, data analytics, as is understood from the term, analyzing the data and the results you obtain. तो डेटा एनालिटिक्स के मीनिंग को भी, राइट, डेटा एनालिटिक्स के मीनिंग को भी हमने ब्रेक कर दिया है। द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ प्रोसेसेस, टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स। क्या है? एक कॉम्बिनेशन है किसका? प्रोसेसेस, टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स का। किस लिए यूज किया जाता है? कहाँ यूज किया जाता है? तो टैप मीन्स record, store and retrieve vast amounts of electronic data. किस लिए टैप किया जाता है? To obtain meaningful information, that is called data analytics. So डेटा से जब आप इंफॉर्मेशन चाहते हैं, बहुत सारा डेटा आपने एक तरफ रख लिया और उससे आप जब इंफॉर्मेशन चाहते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड डेटा एनालिटिक्स। आपने स्टडी मटेरियल उठाया, आप उसमें से डेटा एनालिटिक्स को लेकर कुछ और पढ़ना चाहते हैं, आपने कोई आर्टिकल पढ़ा नेट पे, आपने प्रेजेंटेशन देखी, आपने जो कुछ भी आपको पता था वो सब इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास है, दैट इज योर रॉ इंफॉर्मेशन। उसके बाद आप एक डेटा एनालिटिक्स टॉपिक लिखते हैं अपने कॉपी के ऊपर, और उसके ऊपर सब एक पेज पे डेटा एनालिटिक्स को लेकर सब कुछ लिख लेते हैं, और आप सोचते हैं अब डेटा एनालिटिक्स को लेकर मुझे कुछ भी समझना होगा, मैं इस पेज को रेफर करूँ। तो वो पेज आपका, दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव डन, यू हैव एनालाइज द डेटा, और आपने ऐसे टूल्स और टेक्निक्स यूज किए हैं, उनको कंबाइन किया है, बहुत सारी अमाउंट का डेटा आपने एक जगह रख लिया है, या आपने एक ऐसा प्रोसेस डेवलप किया है, ऐसा टूल है जिसके थ्रू आप कहीं से भी वो डेटा एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, ताकि आप उससे जो इंफॉर्मेशन चाहते हैं वो आपको मिले। उस प्रोसेस को, उस कॉम्बिनेशन को, प्रोसेसेस, टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स को डेटा एनालिटिक्स कहा गया। Okay. So why do companies use data analytics? अब आप देखिए, अगर आप लोगों ने माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल यूज किया है कभी, those people who are undergoing articleship, they might be using it. Those who will be undergoing in near future, they'll use Microsoft Excel. How do we use tables, and how do we extract information from the raw data? The pie charts, the graphs, everything you might have done in your +1, +2, or foundation in statistics, right? So with an immense volume of data, we need it to be toned down to what we can understand. With increasing knowledge, with increasing globalization, with increasing tools and techniques to be used in businesses, the data is growing at an, I would say, immense scale. You might have read that statement, data is the new oil, and data is highly confidential. So companies can benefit immensely from the use of data analytics in terms of increased profitability. But obvious, the more a company researches on data, consumer interest, if it is able to tap the interest of the consumers in their area or in a new market, this will have an effect on their profitability. Better customer services, gaining competitive advantage over competitors, and more efficient operations with the use of systems and data analytics. Okay, it is one and the same thing, Darshan. Right? Now coming to CATs, computer assisted auditing techniques. Someone asked me in the previous session, so how can IT be relevant to auditor? If the companies are using IT, that means it is helpful for the auditor as well. The answer to that question is now. CATs, computer assisted audit techniques. There are audit tools, you know. आप सबने वो हिंदी मुहावरा सुना होगा, लोहा लोहे को काटता है. If the companies are using technology, auditor too has to understand that technology, and with that knowledge, auditor can use the audit tools as well. And those audit tools have a major feature of using this data analytics. So auditors can make use of similar tools and techniques in the audit process and obtain desired results. These tools and techniques that the auditors use in applying the principles of data analytics are known as CATs. जब ऑडिटर डेटा एनालिटिक्स यूज करता है तो उसके ऑडिट टूल्स एंड प्रोसीजर्स को डेटा आपका कंप्यूटर असिस्टेड ऑडिट टेक्निक्स बोल दिया जाता है. ठीक, क्या टेक्निक्स हो सकती हैं? कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं हमारे पास, देखिए. जैसे एम्बेडेड ऑडिट मॉड्यूल अप्रोच. So what does the auditor do? In the system of the client companies, auditor inserts an audit module. Auditor inserts an audit module. These are just examples I'm giving you to make you understand how auditors use technology in their work. To specify certain types of transactions, for example, there is an audit trail in many of the softwares. Whatever changes, whatever deletions, whatever you do with respect to various transactions, that audit trail keeps a log. वो सारा रिकॉर्ड रखता है अपने पास, किस डेट को क्या एंट्री रिकॉर्ड की गई थी, किस दिन उस एंट्री को चेंज किया गया, कौन सा अकाउंट इफेक्ट है, वो सब लॉग रखता है. उसे ऑडिट ट्रेल बोला जाता है. वो लॉग रखता है और उसको आप चेक कर सकते हैं एज एन ऑडिटर, जो आपने ऑडिट मॉड्यूल उस पर्टिकुलर सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर आपने डाल दिया है. ठीक है. Then there is this thing called parallel simulation. What is a parallel simulation? For example, auditor is highly tech savvy, or it is an IT system audit. What does the auditor do? Auditor develops for example, there is an Excel file developed by the company. Sir, see, this is our Excel file. Whatever you punch in this file, it will give you the answer. Like you might have done flow charts. So just ask this question, it will give you the answer. This Excel sheet has been developed by our company. You just do anything and it will give you the profit, whatever changes you make. Okay, fine. As an auditor, I would say, okay, this is your file. I'll make mine. मैं अपनी एक बनाता हूँ ऐसी एक फाइल, एक्सेल फाइल. एक्सेल फाइल कह लीजिए, सॉफ्टवेयर कह लीजिए, मैं अपना एक जनरलाइज ऐसे फाइल बनाता हूँ और देखता हूँ भी सेम क्वेरी क्या दोनों फाइल सेम रिजल्ट देती हैं. दिस इज कॉल्ड पैरेलल सिमुलेशन. अगर दोनों फाइल सेम रिजल्ट दे रही हैं मेरे 3-4 एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के साथ, then I could come to a conclusion that yes, that particular file the software as developed by the company is strong. The controls are good. That is parallel simulation. Then we have ITF, integrated test facility. Right? This is something which is like the quite a large scale. What does it do? You just create an artificial program and try giving instructions to that program in the organization system. And you see how are the transactions being affected. For example, in an accounting software, you create a company on your own, right? ABC Private Limited. And you start punching in entries of sales, expenses, purchases, fictional entries. And you just see how well is the software recording. If it is recording everything good, the reports are coming to be as what is required, then the software is good. The system is doing good. But if where is the catch? The catch is if it gives unwanted results. If it is not taking care of the logarithms, the logics, the requirement as required, then the auditor may conclude that yes, the system is at fault. The controls are not that good. So auditors can make use of data analytics in their audit as well, and that is known as computer assisted auditing techniques. So what is the use of data analytics? Data analytics can be used in testing of electronic records and data residing in IT systems using spreadsheets like Excel and specialized audit tools like IDEA and ACL. These are two special softwares. IDEA and ACL are special softwares. They have found that quite popular with people dealing in forensic accounting, forensic auditing. फोरेंसिक्स में बहुत यूज होता है. फोरेंसिक्स का मतलब सीआईडी वाला फोरेंसिक्स ही नहीं है सिर्फ. फोरेंसिक्स हैज फाउंड इट्स प्लेस, दिस टर्म हैज फाउंड इट्स प्लेस इन your financial statements as well, financial frauds. So what all you can do using these softwares: checking completeness of data and population, selection of audit samples. You can our next chapter is audit sampling, selecting audit samples from that the whole data of the client, recomputations, reperformance of mathematical calculations, analysis of journal entries, fraud investigation, and evaluating the impact of control deficiencies. To give you an example, for example, how can ID and ACL be used? You can join two files based on one common key. For example, I have two files. I'll divide you all into region basis. Who all are from the north, who all from the west, who all from the south, who all from the east, and who all from the center. That is one file, right? Another file is who all are from foundation, who all are from the direct entry route. Okay. So I want the information from these two files at one place. So what does this software can do for me? I can join these two files based on one common key. What could be the common key? The name of the student. That is common in these two files. I've made two Excel files and I want a new file where the data from both the files is there. Either I copy paste or use one of the techniques from Excel. I'm just giving you an example. There are more ways to get that done, but what does this software allow us to do? It creates a new file that contains all or a subset of the fields from the source file. Whatever we require from both the files, even on elective basis, selection basis, we can get that in a new file. The example they have given is the accounts receivable master file, the debtors master file, can be joined with the invoice file to check credit limit to sales. So you'll get both all the information in a new file, the debtors from the master file and invoices issued against them to check credit limit to sales. If the credit is being afforded to them according to them as per the limit set for them. जितना किसी डेटर के साथ हमारा एग्रीमेंट हुआ है 1 लाख 2 लाख के ऊपर आपको स्टॉक नहीं आएगा जब तक पिछला रुपया नहीं आएगा. तो वो चेक करने के लिए मैं इन दोनों फाइल्स को ज्वाइन कर सकता हूँ. एक नई फाइल के अंदर मैं चेक कर सकता हूँ विद द हेल्प ऑफ दीज सॉफ्टवेयर. मैं मैन्युअली करूंगा या मैं एक्सेल फाइल्स के नॉर्मल फंक्शन के साथ करूंगा तो इट विल बी हाईली टाइम कंज्यूमिंग. नाउ ऑडिटर्स कैट्स कैसे यूज करते हैं. ऑडिटर्स कैट्स कैसे यूज करते हैं. तो देखिए क्या सिस्टम आपको फॉलो करना है. अंडरस्टैंड द बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट. अंडरस्टैंड द बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट इंक्लूडिंग आईटी. क्लाइंट का बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट कैसा है, कितना सिस्टम्स का यूज हो रहा है, किस लेवल पे यूज हो रहा है, ये यू विल हैव टू गेट अ नॉलेज. डिफाइन द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एंड क्राइटेरिया ऑफ योर ऑडिट. आप कहां पे डेटा एनालिटिक्स यूज करना चाह रहे हैं, आप कैट्स का यूज करना चाह रहे हैं और क्या आपके ऑब्जेक्टिव है, क्या आप क्राइटेरिया डिफाइन करेंगे उन कैट्स को यूज करने के लिए. अब आप डेटा सिलेक्ट कीजिए. आपने डेटा कहां से उठाना है, बिकॉज आप जहां से डेटा उठा रहे हैं आइडिया सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर डालने के लिए या आइडिया सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर इंपोर्ट करने के लिए, वो डेटा क्या रिलायबल है. रिलायबल डेटा ही आप उसके अंदर यूज करेंगे. एंड फॉर्मेट ऑफ द डेटा, बिकॉज आपका जो आइडिया सॉफ्टवेयर है या एसीएल सॉफ्टवेयर है ये एक्सेल फाइल्स नहीं उठाए, टेक्स्ट फाइल्स उठाए, या कोई भी XYZ सॉफ्टवेयर है जो आप कैट्स में यूज कर रहे हैं वो एक्सेल फाइल के साथ नहीं काम करेगा. आपको एक्सेल फाइल को पीडीएफ में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा और वो पीडीएफ के साथ ही काम करेगा. या वो पीडीएफ फाइल के साथ नहीं काम करेगा, आपको उसको एक्सेल में या टेक्स्ट फाइल में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा. मोस्ट ऑफ सच सॉफ्टवेयर यूज टेक्स्ट फाइल्स, राइट. तो फॉर्मेट भी आपको वैसे ही चाहिए जैसा आपका सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सेप्ट कर रहा है. अब आप डेटा जो है अपना एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे अपने सोर्स से एक्सट्रैक्ट करके उसको सॉफ्टवेयर में लेके आएंगे. वेरीफाई द कंप्लीटनेस एंड एक्यूरेसी ऑफ द एक्सट्रैक्टेड डेटा. जो डेटा आपने एक्सट्रैक्ट किया है, जितना आपको चाहिए, जैसा चाहिए वैसा कि एक्सट्रैक्ट हो गया. एक्सट्रैक्ट करने के टाइम पे व्हाइल एक्सट्रैक्टिंग द डेटा देयर शुड बी नो मिस्टेक और एरर. Now, while the extracted data is in your software, apply criteria on data obtained. Whatever criteria you have set, like what was the criteria in our example here, accounts receivable master file and invoices. What was the criteria in my example? The name of the student. Now the software will give you results. Validate and confirm results where the software has given you the required results. If it has given you the required results, report the results and documents as per SA 230. This is how you use CATs. This is how you use the software. This is the flow. This is the process, step by step. Okay, how do we use CATs as an auditor? Any doubts from data analytics, please? Any doubts from data analytics? Okay, chaliye. Now the auditor has used cats. The auditor has done everything, like understood the automated environment and understood the risks, the controls, tested the controls and everything, right? Applied data analytics, cats. So here we what do we have? A crux of whatever the auditor has done. We are just left with 5 minutes. This is the last topic. So, should we go ahead and complete the chapter? Then I give you a break, or you want a break right away? Just tell me, please. You want a break right away, or should I go ahead and complete the chapter, then give you the break before we carry on with the practice questions? Please let me know. ऐसा ना हो जो भी मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ खिचड़ी बन जाए. अगर आपको लगता है ब्रेक की रिक्वायरमेंट है, विल टेक अ 10 minutes ब्रेक. अगर आपको लगता है वी कैन मूव अहेड, आई विल गो विद द मेजॉरिटी. प्लीज लेट मी नो. Okay, let's. Majority says complete the chapter, then break. So it's hardly 10 minutes I'll take to complete the chapter, and then we'll take a break. So just rejuvenate yourselves during the break, and then we'll come back and do some exercises. Okay? Not the yoga exercises, but the audit exercises. Right? Uh, okay. So, okay. The guidance note on audit of internal financial controls. I told you what are guidance notes. Like standards on auditing, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India issues guidance notes. While performing an audit, what steps do you need to take? What are the results? How do you need to proceed further? And these guidance notes are recommendatory. Recommendatory means they're not mandatory, but it is highly recommended that a member of the institute, a chartered accountant, while performing his audit functions, should give preference to whatever is there in the guidance note. It is highly recommended that they should follow the steps in the guidance note. So, institute has come up with a guidance note on audit of internal financial controls over financial reporting. It provides a framework that the auditors should follow to fulfill their responsibility. So, auditor ne, this is from the guidance note. Risk assessment, understand and evaluate, testing for operating effectiveness and reporting. The auditor has to do this. He has to understand the risk in the automated environment, understand and evaluate the risks, test for the controls, test for the operating effectiveness of the controls, and report in his audit report. So, what are the activities covered in risk assessment? See, you might have done all of this in your chapter 4. You have done this in your chapter 4. That is why I am taking it up and quickly. Shubham, Shubham is sending the sad smiley. Just 5 minutes. Shubham, Manisha, Kanchan, okay, Jay, just 5 minutes, right? I've asked you that question particularly because I know it can be done in 5 minutes and I can give the break afterwards. Risk assessments identify significant accounts and disclosures, qualitative and quantitative considerations, कौन सी financial assertions हैं, statement assertions जिनको आपको ध्यान देना है, likely sources of misstatement, consider risk arising from use of IT system. ये risk assessment के अंदर activities हैं. अब कंट्रोल्स को अंडरस्टैंड एंड इवेल्युएट करने के लिए आप क्या करेंगे? फ्लो चार्ट्स और नैरेटिव्स यूज करेंगे, लाइक इंटरनल कंट्रोल क्वेश्चनियर्स एंड ऑल. प्रिपेयर रिस्क कंट्रोल मैट्रिक्स बनाएंगे आप। रिस्क और कंट्रोल का मैट्रिक्स आपने बनाया होगा चैप्टर नंबर 2 या 4 में। अंडरस्टैंड द डिजाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल्स बाय परफॉर्मिंग वॉक थ्रूज एंड टू एंड प्रोसेस। कंसीडर कीजिए कंट्रोल्स एंटिटी वाइज लेवल पे और क्या ड्यूटीज सेग्रीगेट की गई हैं। आईटी कंट्रोल्स, एप्लीकेशन कंट्रोल्स, इन सब के ऊपर आपकी स्टडी होगी। आप उनकी ऑपरेटिव इफेक्टिवनेस जो है, उनकी जो ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवनेस है, आप उसको चेक करेंगे। आप अपने ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स जो उनका नेचर, टाइमिंग एंड एक्सटेंट, कौन से प्रोसीजर्स आपको कब करनी है और किस हद तक करनी है, कौन से, कब और किस हद तक, नेचर, टाइमिंग एंड एक्सटेंट ऑफ कंट्रोल्स की टेस्टिंग। आपका सोर्स डाटा सही है या नहीं है, कंप्लीट है या नहीं है, जिसके ऊपर आप टेस्ट कर रहे हैं। आपने की रिपोर्ट्स चेक की, सैंपल्स बनाए, और जो आपकी टीम, ऑडिट टीम, ये टेस्ट कैरी आउट कर रही है, कितने कॉम्पिटेंट है, कितने इंडिपेंडेंट है। फाइनली आप रिपोर्ट करेंगे। क्या रिपोर्ट करेंगे? क्या डेफिशिएंसीज पाई आपने कंट्रोल में, क्या सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसीज और मटेरियल वीकनेसेस थी, आप क्या सॉल्यूशन सजेस्ट करते हैं। आप इंटरनल कंट्रोल मीमो या मैनेजमेंट लेटर और ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट। व्हाट इज एन इंटरनल कंट्रोल मीमो? ये इंटरनल कंट्रोल मीमो या मैनेजमेंट लेटर, एक मीमो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को आप दिया जाता है, वो फॉर्मेट देते हैं या आप देते हैं, उसके अंदर क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, उनका आंसर किया जाता है। तो रिस्क असेसमेंट, अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड इवेल्युएटिंग द कंट्रोल्स, टेस्टिंग देयर स्ट्रेंथ एंड रिपोर्टिंग। ये अभी तक हमने किया, जो ऑडिटर करेगा किसी भी नॉर्मल एनवायरनमेंट में या ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट में। ठीक है। रिस्क कंट्रोल मैट्रिक्स दर्शन एक ऐसा मैट्रिक्स होता है जिसपे आप रोज या कॉलम्स में, ऑन वन साइड यू टेक अप द रिस्क and from the other side you take up the controls, and you can find the, on the basis of operating effectiveness of controls and intensity of risk, how much work you need to do. I'll show you a risk control matrix after the break. Right after the break I'll show you a risk control matrix. So this is quite simple. At the conclusion of each audit, it is possible that there will be certain findings or exceptions in IT environment and IT controls of the company, which need to be assessed and reported to relevant stakeholders, including management, those traffic governance. आपने जो भी आपके फाइंडिंग्स थी, डेफिशिएंसीज की, एक्सेप्शंस की, वो आप इन्हें बताएंगे। ऑडिटर को हर एक्सेप्शन को असेस करना है, उसके ऑडिट पे इम्पैक्ट निकालना है, और जो डेफिशिएंसी आई है वो मैनेजमेंट, स्टेक होल्डर्स तक पहुंचानी है। राइट। डेफिशिएंसी कैसी हो सकती है? कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी, सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी, या मटेरियल वीकनेस। दैट इज कवर्ड इन पॉइंट नंबर बी और पॉइंट नंबर सी, जो हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी। सो ऑडिटर किन चीजों पे डिस्कस करेगा और अपनी रिपोर्टिंग देगा? क्या आईटी कंट्रोल्स में कोई वीकनेस है? इस वीकनेस का मेरे ऑडिट पे क्या असर था? मुझे कौन सी डेफिशिएंसीज मैनेजमेंट को रिपोर्ट करनी है? और मुझे इन राइटिंग में कहा दोस्त चार्ज विद गवर्नेंस के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना है अबाउट दीज सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसीज और मटेरियल वीकनेसेस। ये ऑडिटर्स की कंसिडरेशन। ठीक, ऑन बेसिस ऑफ हिज ऑडिट एंड ऑडिट फाइंडिंग्स। Okay, the last part. So this is the whole flow chart. Auditor has come out with a finding or an exception that results in control deficiency. Yes. The next step is auditor should report it to the management. Auditor should report it to the management, right? उसके बाद ऑडिटर इवेल्युएट करेगा, कैलकुलेट करेगा इस पर्टिकुलर डेफिशिएंसी की वजह से क्या चांसेस हैं नुकसान होने की। इवेल्युएट लाइकलीहुड एंड मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ डेफिशिएंसी। किस लेवल की डेफिशिएंसी है? नॉर्मल कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी है, सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी है, या मटेरियल वीकनेस है? अगर ये कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी सिंपल है, ये आगे चलेगा। अगर ये सिग्निफिकेंट डेफिशिएंसी या मटेरियल वीकनेस निकलती है ऑडिटर की टेस्टिंग पे, तो ऑडिटर दोस्त चार्ज विद गवर्नेंस से कम्युनिकेट करेगा। अपने ऑडिट और अपनी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट पे क्या असर होगा इसका, जो उसने सिग्निफिकेंट एफिशिएंसी और मटेरियल वीकनेस ढूंढ निकाली है और अपना ऑडिट कंक्लूड कर दे। अगर if it was a simple control deficiency, what would the auditor do? Auditor would see if there are any compensating controls, like to overcome this deficiency, control deficiency. If the security guard was sleeping at the factory gate, are the biometrics inside when entered in the factory? Are the biometrics working while accessing the server room? If the security guard is sleeping, the CCTVs are working properly. These are some kind of compensating controls which can compensate for each other. If there are compensating controls, yes, auditor will gather additional audit evidence. What would it be? The security guard was sleeping, but we have footage of the CCTV recording. Document the results and conclude. But if there are like no compensating controls in place, so are there any other mitigating factors which could control this unauthorized access? For example, the security guard was sleeping, the CCTV was also not working, but after I entered the factory gate, there is one more level of checking where I have to make an entry into the register before accessing any room in the factory, any portion in the factory. So these are some mitigating factors, risk mitigating factors. जो रिस्क पहले मटेरियलाइज हो चुका, बाद में उसे कंट्रोल करने के लिए, मिटिगेट करने के लिए, अगर ये प्लेस में अगेन गुड एडिशनल ऑडिट एविडेंस में भी रिक्वायर्ड, कलेक्ट कीजिए, रिकॉर्ड कीजिए, डॉक्यूमेंट कीजिए और कंक्लूड कर लीजिए। बट अगर ये भी नहीं है, फिर ऑडिटर क्या करेगा? ऑडिटर चेक करेगा, क्या चेक करेगा? इसका हमारे ऑटोमेटेड कंट्रोल्स या आईटी डिपेंडेंट कंट्रोल्स पे कोई इफेक्ट है? अगर इफेक्ट है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, ऑडिटर को और एविडेंस चाहिए, डॉक्यूमेंट कर लेगा रिजल्ट। अगर इस सब प्रोसेस के थ्रू क्लीन निकल आता है, जो कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी है वो बहुत ही माइन्यूट सी है, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू इफेक्ट द रिजल्ट्स इन एनी मैनर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, तो ऑडिटर कुछ नहीं करेगा, डॉक्यूमेंट करेगा अपने रिजल्ट्स और कंक्लूड कर देगा। इन द सेम वे, जो फाइंडिंग या एक्सेप्शन ऑडिटर को मिली थी, क्या वो कंट्रोल डेफिशिएंसी बनती थी? नहीं बन रही थी। सिमिलरली, डायरेक्टली ऑडिटर विल कम थ्रू दिस रूट, डॉक्यूमेंट इट and conclude. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total of 6 routes possible through this flow chart with the working of the auditor. Okay, fine. So this is a flow chart the auditor's assessment is related to. Moving ahead, concluding with the chapter, the last part, there is an example how a control deficiency in general IT controls audit finding. So there is a control deficiency in general IT controls. There is an example, and how does the auditor need to address it, right? See, what is a control deficiency? So what did the auditor observe? As per information security policy, user access changes should be initiated and approved. So if you are changing the password to a user system, it should be initiated, a request should be made and approved by a higher authority. However, the auditor writes, we observe that there is no formal process being followed for password reset in SAP. Password reset requests are presently communicated over phone and there is no supporting documentation being maintained for password reset. आपको password reset क्यों करना पड़ा? What was the reason? किसने कब किया, क्यों किया, क्या फ्रीक्वेंसी थी पासवर्ड रीसेट करने की? This all should be documented because it is sensitive. और आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी कह रही है दैट ये सब चीज इनिशिएशन एंड अप्रूवल प्रॉपरली डॉक्यूमेंट होना चाहिए। और मैंने यहाँ पे एज एन ऑडिटर एक रेफरेंस दिया है, आप अपनी पॉलिसी का ये पेज रेफर कर सकते हो। दिस वाज माय ऑब्जर्वेशन एज एन ऑडिटर। अब इस वजह से क्या रिस्क होगा? एक्सपोजर. Passwords of user ID with critical privileges may be reset and misused. So someone may reset the password of a system where he or she is not authorized to, reset it and can use it for his or her own purpose, like happens in bank frauds. And this is also a non-compliance with the information security policy of your company, because your policy says it should be initiated and approved, but it is not being followed. This is the exposure. Now, what are my recommendations as an auditor? It is recommended that all password reset should be requested through a formal process in writing via email. Supporting documentation should be maintained for such changes, and this documentation and changes should be reviewed periodically. If it is if it is occurring quite frequent, what is the reason? Right? And last May, have left some option for management's comments. If you want to comment anything, you may. So this is how an auditor follows his approach. Okay? Fine. We are done with our chapter. So any doubts till now? After break, we'll practice some questions and some other questions as developed by me. Any doubts till now? And we'll take a break. Kiran, I told you in the previous session, SAP, the accounting software, ERP. Okay, let's break for 15 minutes. It's 7:38. Meet you at 7:53. Okay. So we are taking a break for 15 minutes and then we'll do our questions. Okay, everyone, are we back? Great. Kiran is back. Actually, questions. The auditor's reporting on internal financial control will be applicable with respect to interim financial statements. Obviously incorrect, right? There is no specific mention of interim financial statements as per the rules sections applicable. The directors and management have secondary responsibility of implementing and maintaining an effective internal controls framework, while the primary responsibility lies on. How can the auditor have a primary responsibility and directors at secondary responsibility? Statement पढ़ने से ही लगता है incorrect. They have the primary responsibility. Auditor's responsibility is to provide an opinion. What is the difference between internal financial control and internal control over financial reporting? Okay, this is a good question. We need to discuss it. Difference between internal financial control and internal control over financial reporting. Internal financial control ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं क्या है. Now, on the other hand, internal controls over financial reporting is required, where auditors are required to express an opinion on the effectiveness of an entity's internal controls over financial reporting. Such opinion is in addition to and distinct from opinion expressed by the auditor on the financial statements. So I can understand that internal controls over financial reporting, this auditor has to report upon the financial statements, and internal controls over the financial reporting process. I can understand the scope of internal financial controls is wider than internal controls over financial reporting. Right? Internal financial controls, as we've done in the definition, a list of those 4 to 5 activities. Internal controls. Okay, Himanshu. Himanshu, for some reason, I'm not clicking on hide. Thank you, Himanshu. For some reason, I'm not clicking on hide. I'm just shifting it from place to place, right? There's some reason I'm not hiding it. Okay, thank you so much for your concern. So, let's move ahead. So, next question is, while it is true that companies can benefit immensely from the use of data analytics, analyze various functions that can be performed even by the auditor using data analytics tools and techniques in the audit process to obtain good results. We have done this. Okay. Terms, we have done all these terms: CATs, data analytics, database, information systems, privileged access. We have done this all. That's it. Chaliye. So let us do, okay, let us do some practice of questions. Here we are. So is my screen visible to everyone? Is the PDF file which I'm showing you, is it visible to everyone? Guys, is the PDF file visible? Can you see chapter 6, session 1 MCQ mock test written at the top? Okay, so this is something, these are some MCQ questions, 5 to 6, if I'm not wrong. 5 questions, MCQ questions, and the answer to these questions is the option which has been bold, which is in bold and underlined. So this is for your practice. I'm not going to discuss it here. This is for your practice, and I have uploaded it with the notes with MCQ in parentheses. ब्रैकेट में मैंने MCQ लिखा है, जो आप नोट्स डाउनलोड करेंगे आपको पता लग जाएगा ये क्वेश्चंस आपकी प्रैक्टिस के लिए. ओके, चलिए अब हम कुछ प्रीवियस एग्जाम्स के क्वेश्चंस देखते हैं. सो दिस इज नवंबर 22. ओके, नवंबर 22 का एग्जाम है ये, लास्ट अटेम्प्ट. It is there on BOS Knowledge Portal. Let us solve some questions from chapter 6 which were asked in this chapter. Okay, let us come to a correct incorrect. The first question is from chapter 6. In an automated environment, the relationship between the application controls and the general IT controls over IT systems are not interrelated. चलिए, आंसर करेक्ट और इनकरेक्ट. अच्छा, इस चीज को और ध्यान रखिए, जब वो आपको पूछ रहे हैं स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट और इनकरेक्ट, तो यस, नो, ट्रू, फॉल्स, ये आपको अवॉइड करना है. यू आर अ प्रोफेशनल स्टूडेंट अपेयरिंग इन ए प्रोफेशनल एग्जामिनेशन. इफ इट वांट्स इन करेक्ट इनकरेक्ट फॉर्मेट तो करेक्ट इनकरेक्ट लिखें. आप ट्रू फॉल्स यस नो के साथ खेल के मत आए वहां पर. ठीक, इस चीज का ध्यान रखें. चलिए, answer this question asked in November 22 exam, the very first question after MCQ in the examination from chapter 6. It is correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Yes, they are interrelated. Now, sir, how do we write the answer? So here it is. How do you write the answer? Incorrect. Now it is a 2 marks question. So you need to give some material, right? Some reasoning for your answer. The relationship between the application controls and the general IT control is such that the general IT controls are needed to support the functioning of application controls, and both are needed to ensure complete and accurate information processing through IT systems. These two categories of control of IT systems are interrelated. This sums up your answer. 2 marks. November 22 question. I hope you are able to see the answer on your screen, which I have shared. आप सबको आंसर दिख रहा है जो मैंने शेयर किया है स्क्रीन पे? That was a different file. That was a question paper. Now I've shared the file with the answers. आपको अलग फाइल दिख रही है ना, the second file? Okay, good. Thank you, Himanshu. Okay, coming to next question, which was asked in November 22 exam. Let's move ahead, and we have the descriptive questions part. Second question, A part 4 marks, B part 4 marks, C part 3 marks, and D part. In an automated environment, general IT controls are policies and procedures that relate to many applications and support the effective functioning of application controls. One such area is access security. What is the objective of access security and what are the activities included in it? So what were the other areas? Data center and network operations. Second was program management, program change. Third was access security. And fourth was system acquisition, maintenance and development. उन सब के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स थे और एक्टिविटीज कवर थी. उनमें से एक पूछ लिया गया आपको 3 मार्क्स में. यहाँ पे ठीक. Let us go to answers. 2D. here we come. So, access security in automated environment. Objective of access security is to ensure that the access to programs and data is authenticated and authorized to meet financial reporting objectives. So ये सब activities की थी हमने, ये आपको list यहाँ पे देनी है. This is your answer. Security organization and management, security policies, security, data security, application security, physical security, whatever we had read in the general IT controls part. Okay? Chaliye. This was November 22 question paper. Now coming to the attempt from this previous to this. Ahmed, as far as this chapter is concerned, direct questions are there. Almost direct questions. I've never found 90% of the times or 95% of the times direct questions from this chapter. I don't know whether you would fall in the 5% or the 95%. I won't comment upon that. Let's come to May 22, an attempt previous to this attempt. So questions from chapter 6 in this particular exam. Okay. 3 marks question. The auditor of HK Limited completed the audit of company in an automated environment. Management of the company requested the auditor to give an idea about any exceptions observed in IT environment that need to be assessed. How the auditor should consider this request and report in light of an audit perspective. How the auditor should consider this request and report in light of an audit perspective. So management of the company has requested the auditor to give an idea about any exceptions observed in IT environment. The last part we have done today. Right? The last part which we have done today. Here we are. Okay. At the conclusion of each audit, it is possible that there will be certain findings or exceptions in IT environment and IT controls of the company that need to be assessed and reported to relevant stakeholders, including management and those charged with governance. Some points to consider. बिल्कुल लास्ट में किया हमने अभी ब्रेक से पहले. Are there any weaknesses in IT controls? What is the impact of these weaknesses? Report deficiencies to the management. Communicate in writing. अब बताइए मुझे इसमें indirect तो कुछ नहीं है. Direct question है. 3 marks. May 22 question paper. Right? चलिए. Now, some people were asking me before we proceed with the case studies, some people were asking me, sir, how to learn and revise this whole chapter and all. Just let me know. Okay. So I will just give you the idea of preparing chapter charts given to the previous batches as well. Preparing the whole chapter or just jotting down the whole chapter on 1 or 2 sheets of paper and then revising it from there. So what is the exact example of a chapter chart? It looks like this. So when I prepared chapter 6 audit in an automated environment, the chapter chart, it is like this. The whole chapter is over here in the form of a family tree. Part 1 is the basics part, what I have to do. Then part 2 is the IT related part. What are the topics covered in this part? Part 3, risk and controls in an automated environment, understanding, impact, types of controls. Then I went to fourth part, testing methods, common methods जो हमने आज देखे क्वेश्चन आंसर में स्पेसिफिक मेथड्स किए. Then part 5 was internal financial controls. इसके क्या क्या पार्ट्स हैं इंटरनल फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोल्स के? व्हाट आर IFC, इनकी रिपोर्टिंग को लेके, ऑडिट अप्रोच को लेके, राइट. The sixth part was data analytics की uses क्या है, sequence of using क्या है. Seventh part was reporting. We have a flow chart in our study material. So this is how for any chapter, for theory subjects or practical subjects, especially theory subjects, you can prepare these chapter charts. I've shared this chapter chart with you in the notes as well on the portal. You can download it from there. In the bracket with chapter 6, it is written chapter chart over there. और इस तरह के चैप्टर चार्ट आप अपने बाकी चैप्टर्स के भी बना सकते हैं. इट इज जस्ट एन एग्जांपल. आप कैसे बाकी चैप्टर्स की भी चैप्टर चार्ट बना सकते हैं. Ahmed, that is why I have given you an example. It comes with practice. Okay, so from 3 to 2 to 1, this is how the example of one chapter is there. तभी मैंने आपके साथ एक एग्जांपल शेयर किया. आपको इस तरीके से बनाना है, क्योंकि अगर मैं आपको बोलता चैप्टर चार्ट्स बनाओ तो आप नोट्स बनाने लग जाते. 4-4, 5-5 बड़े साइज का चार्ट पेपर लिया तो उस पर चैप्टर बनाने लगते. A4 साइज की शीट है, उसके ऊपर पूरा चैप्टर उतारा गया. हमें हर चीज नहीं लिखनी है, हमें सिर्फ जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है या चैप्टर का क्लासिफिकेशन लाना है इसके ऊपर, क्या क्या टॉपिक सब टॉपिक्स कवर्ड है, सो दैट इन एन एग्जाम व्हेन अ क्वेश्चन इज बीइंग आस्क्ड your brain should directly take you to this chapter chart. Okay, here it is. The question has been asked from this particular part. Now this particular part, यहां से आपका ब्रेन आपको स्टडी मैट के या आपके नोट्स के अंदर इस पार्ट पे लेके जाएगा. इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग थ्रू एवरी टॉपिक इन योर ब्रेन, you should directly land on the required topic, and this chapter chart is a medium to that approach. Shubham, they are a part of the audit report only. Shubham, they are a part of the audit report only, right? So this is just a guidance from my side. Whosoever can follow it, whosoever feels that yes, it can be of help to them, to just do this in this manner, or otherwise, whatever is your approach to learn that different topics, just follow that. Okay, chaliye, let's move to case study. The last part for today's session. I hope it's visible to everyone. So, Darshan, after this case study, okay? This is a case study from chapter 6. Be with me on this case study. Read line by line, and then we'll have 10 questions to be answered. Okay? Please take a paper and a pen and be ready with your answers. I'll study this with, I'll upload this particular case study with answers after the class. Chaliye. So, be with me. Messrs. KTR and Associates, this is a CA firm, with its partners CA Kumar, CA Tina, and CA Rohan, have been appointed as auditors of Vigyan Limited for the financial year 2021-22. Hema, Rekha, Jaya, Sushma is not there, are respectively the managing, part-time and independent directors of Vigyan Limited. So Hema is the managing director, Rekha is the part-time director, and Jaya is the independent director. While Mr. Sushil Sharma is the secretary to the CIO. Who was the CIO? Chief Information Officer. Vigyan Limited is an e-commerce company, and almost all processes operations, accounting, and decisions are carried out by using computers in the company. Definition of automated environment. The auditors understand that there are several aspects that they should consider to determine the level of automation and complexity in the business environment of Vigyan Limited. While planning the audit work, the engagement partners discussed with the audit staff about the various types of controls in the automated environment. So उन्होंने अपने audit staff को बताया क्या क्या controls होते हैं, general IT controls, application control, IT controls, and IT dependent controls. The senior most article, Ravi, must be in his third year of articleship, is given the task of understanding, observing, and documenting how the IT department is organized in the company. The IT activities, the IT dependencies, relevant risks, and controls. Okay? CA Tina tells her article Vidya about using the IDEA software in audit operations. I told you about IDEA software. The different types of audit tests that can be used in audit of an automated business environment were also discussed within the engagement team. Different types of audit tests. The responsibility regarding the internal financial controls was also discussed in detail. Further, the tools and techniques that can be used to deal with the enormous data and information of Vigyan Limited were briefed to the audit staff by the engagement partners. Now we are coming to data analytics and CATs. CA Rohan observes that the IT risks have not been considered for and not mitigated to an acceptable level, thereby impacting the business environment such that more substantive audit work is needed to be done by them as auditors. Impact on audit part. CA Kumar finds that the secretary to the CIO has been given access to the information systems that enforces less or no limits on using that system. So CIO ने अपने सेक्रेटरी को एक्सेस दिया हुआ है अपने सेक्रेटरी को उसके सिस्टम का कि कोई भी उस सिस्टम को यूज कर सकता है सेक्रेटरी भी CIO का सिस्टम यूज कर रहा है He requests Mr. Sunil Sharma to tell him about the company's documented policy with respect to the business continuity plan and the disaster recovery plan to recover from failure in case of any unfortunate event occurs. हमने लास्ट टाइम पढ़ा था जनरल आईटी कंट्रोल्स में डिजास्टर रिकवरी प्लान और बिजनेस कंटिन्यूटी प्लान के बारे में. He further tells article Raman to prepare a risk and control matrix as per the risks identified relating to the company's automated environment. The team carries out the audit, and while assessing their findings to be included in the audit report, they find a significant deficiency in the internal controls and discuss among themselves as how it should be reported. So I have tried to include each and every topic we have covered in previous session and today's session in this particular case study for a thorough understanding of the whole chapter. You can see the last part, assessment of audit findings, flow chart. It is here. It is being depicted in the last line of this case study. So based on the above facts, you have to answer the following question. Meanwhile, someone asked me what is risk control matrix. So here it is. What a risk control matrix looks like. I have zoomed the original figure, but थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है तो आप समझ लीजिए. देखिए कैसे टॉप पे लेफ्ट पे आपके कंट्रोल्स हैं और ऊपर आपका रिस्क है. थोड़ा मैंने जूम कम किया है. यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे आपके कंट्रोल्स आ रहे हैं और यहाँ आपके रिस्क आ रहे हैं. इनहेरेंट रिस्क एंड ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ कंट्रोल्स. देखिए अगर आपके कंट्रोल स्ट्रॉन्ग है, फर्स्ट पे हूं मैं, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द डाउन, फर्स्ट पे हूं स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द बॉटम. देखिए फर्स्ट पे हूं मैं, कंट्रोल स्ट्रॉन्ग है, रिस्क बहुत लो है, तो रेजिडुअल रिस्क रेटिंग बहुत लो आती है. जैसे जैसे कंट्रोल वीक होते जाएंगे आप ऊपर जाते जाएंगे 1 2 3 4 5। देखिए आपके कंट्रोल्स बहुत वीक हैं बट इनहेरेंट रिस्क भी बहुत वीक है, बहुत लो है, तो आपका रेजिडुअल रिस्क जो निकल के आएगा कंक्लूजन में वो वेरी लो आएगा। अब इधर से चलते जाइए, आपके कंट्रोल्स बहुत स्ट्रांग है पर जो आपके रिस्क हैं, इनहेरेंट रिस्क वो बहुत ज्यादा है, क्रिटिकल है, तो भी मॉडरेट रिस्क तो आएगा ही आएगा। ऐसे आप टॉप पे यहां देखिए, राइट टॉप, कंट्रोल्स भी बहुत वीक है, रिस्क भी बहुत क्रिटिकल है, तो हाईली क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन, द रेड पार्ट, रेजिडुअल रिस्क, जो रिस्क निकल के आएगा इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दैट हाईली क्रिटिकल, हाईली रिस्की। This is what a risk control matrix is. You have risks on the rows, controls on the columns, or risk on the columns, controls on the rows, and this is a risk control matrix. Chaliye, let's see the questions. The powers given to Mr. Sunil Sharma by the CIO fall under the category of. चलिए अब आप स्पीड मेंटेन करेंगे और मुझे आंसर्स देंगे इसके. Answer to the first question. The powers given to Mr. Sunil Sharma by the Chief Information Officer. Sunil Sharma is his secretary. And what has he done? CA Kumar finds that the secretary to the CIO has been given access to the information system with less or no limits on using that system. Data breach, segregation of duties, super or privileged access, centralized system of control. What is your answer to the first question? Very good, Darshan, Himanshu, Manisha, Guduri, you are wrong. I'll wait for 5 responses and then I'll tell the answer. Good, Ahmed. The answer is super privileged access. We have read about it, right? Chaliye, next question. So it's a statement type question. Statement 1 says Section 149 subsection 8 of the Companies Act 2013 applies to the company and the director Jaya specifically. Statement 2 says Section 143 subsection 3 clause 1 of the Companies Act applies to Hema, Rekha, Jaya and Sushil together. So two sections, 149 subsection 8, 143 3 1. Hema, Rekha and Jaya and Sushil, they were all managing directors and the managers. 143.3.1 क्लॉज 1 ये तो ऑडिटर पे लगता है, मैंने अभी पढ़ा है, तो स्टेटमेंट 2 तो यहीं पे गलत हो गई. अब स्टेटमेंट 1 देखनी है. सेक्शन 149 सबसेक्शन 8 ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 अप्लाइज टू द कंपनी एंड द डायरेक्टर जया स्पेसिफिकली. सेक्शन 149 सबसेक्शन 8 किस चीज का था? कैन एनीबॉडी टेल मी? और जया देखिए कौन सी डायरेक्टर है यहाँ पे. सो जया इज द इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर. जया इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर. So what is your answer? Only statement 1 is correct. Only statement 2 is correct. Both statements 1 and 2 are correct. Both statements 1 and 2 are incorrect. इनके सबके आंसर्स हैं आपके पास नीचे, मैं दूंगा, इसी फाइल में होंगे. ठीक है. हाँ जी. Only statement 1 is correct. Only statement 2 is correct. Both statements 1 and 2 are correct. Both statements 1 and 2 are incorrect. मैंने स्टेटमेंट 2 तो इनकरेक्ट तुम्हें पहले ही बोल दी थी, तो सी तो और बी तो निकल ही जाता है, ए और डी रह गया. अब सेक्शन 149(8) मुझे पता है इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स के ऊपर एप्लीकेबल है, मुझे पूछा भी गया था यहाँ पे एक क्वेरी, और जया इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर है, तो मेरे हिसाब से ओनली स्टेटमेंट 1 इज करेक्ट, इज द राइट आंसर. तो जिन लोगों ने भी ए आंसर दिया, गुड. शुभम, अहमद, भूमिका, तनीषा, सोनाली, मनीषा, मोहित, गुडूरी, किरण, ओके वर्ष नो चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन The work allocated to Article Raman is of the nature of dash as per the guidance note on internal financial controls issued by ICI. What was the work allocated to Article Raman? देखिए He further tells Article Raman to prepare a risk and control matrix. तो रिस्क एंड कंट्रोल मैट्रिक्स हम किस फंक्शन में बनाते थे? रिस्क असेसमेंट में, अंडरस्टैंड इवैल्यूएशन में, टेस्टिंग में या रिपोर्टिंग में? देखिए ये यहां से पता लगेगा आपको. ये रिस्क असेसमेंट, ये अंडरस्टैंड एंड इवैल्यूएट, ये टेस्टिंग फॉर ऑपरेटिंग, रिपोर्टिंग. रिस्क कंट्रोल मैट्रिक्स कहां आ रहा था हमारा? देखिए यहां आ रहा है ना. किस में आ रहा है ये? अंडरस्टैंड एंड इवैल्यूएट में. राइट. सो माय आंसर वुड बी थर्ड का बी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड इवैल्यूएशन. आई न्यू ये कोई भी करेक्ट नहीं गेस करने वाला था, इसलिए मैंने आपको वो पावर पॉइंट में से वो क्वेश्चन दिखाया जहां से ये क्वेश्चन लिया गया. Okay, let's move to next question. The work being performed by Article Vidya is an example of using dash in audit. What is Vidya doing? Let us see what is Vidya doing. Okay, CA Tina tells her Article Vidya about using the idea software in audit operations. So Vidya is using idea in the audit. So work being performed by Article Vidya is an example of using dash in audit. Audit test, walkthrough, written representation, data analytics. What is your answer to the fourth question? Very easy. Very easy. I should not wait for your answer. Good, 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 good. Data analytics. Right? Fifth, as per the audit findings of the team, they should communicate in writing to those charged with governance, report the matter directly to the state or central government, test the compensating controls in the company, re-perform the audit trail. What were the audit findings? The team carries out the audit, and while assessing their findings to be included in the audit report, they find a significant deficiency. They have found a significant deficiency in the internal controls, and they discuss among themselves how it should be reported. तो फ्लो चार्ट किया था हमने, उसमें क्या किया था आइए देखते हैं. क्या किया था हमने फ्लो चार्ट में? Significant deficiency, communicate in writing to those charged with governance. ये किया था. Good, Himanshu, Tanisha. Okay, so we shall communicate in writing to those charged with governance. Now coming to sixth question. Raman and his team are working in compliance with 315, 240, 200, 299. 240 was related to frauds, 200 with respect to objectives, and 299 was joint auditing. 315 is knowledge. So what is your answer to question number 6? रमन कहां पे क्या कर रहा है? लेट अस सी. ओके, रमन रिस्क कंट्रोल मैट्रिक्स बना रहा है. और कहीं रमन ने कुछ किया है ऊपर? नहीं, बस रमन. ओके, रवि ने किया है. ठीक है, चलिए. Wait. So there the question should be of Ravi. I'll amend it. I'll change it and I'll make the necessary rectification. It should be Ravi over here. What is Ravi doing? See over here. While the senior most article, Ravi, is given the task of understanding, observing, and documenting how the IT department is organized in the company, IT activities and IT dependencies, relevant risks and controls. So this is what Ravi and his team is doing. It should be Ravi over here, or Ravi के हिसाब से आप आंसर देंगे. I suppose it is much clear. SA 315. Everybody is answering right. SA 315. CA Rohan's observation show the impact of risks in IT environment on. CA Rohan को क्या लगा? CA Rohan observes that the IT risks have not been considered for and not mitigated to an acceptable level, thereby impacting the business environment such that more substantive audit work is needed to be done by them as auditors. So IT risks have not been considered, not mitigated to a low level, impacting business environment, and more substantive audit work has to be done. तो CA रोहन की ये ऑब्जर्वेशन थी. तो CA रोहन की ऑब्जर्वेशन IT इन्वायरमेंट में रिस्क का इम्पैक्ट किस पे दिखा रही है? सब्सटेंशियल ऑडिट पे, कंट्रोल्स पे, रिपोर्टिंग पे देयर इज नो रिस्क इम्पैक्ट. अब ये कहां से आया क्वेश्चन? ये क्वेश्चन यहां से आया. देखिए, देख पा रहे हैं? इम्पैक्ट ऑन सब्सटेंशियल ऑडिट, impact on controls, impact on reporting, and an impact of controls. You can see we have this more substantive audit work is needed. I hope you can all see. So this is falling under impact on controls. Confusion कहाँ पे होती है? Confusion होती है substantive audit word आ गया तो impact on substantive audit दिखा देंगे. This is the catch. This is a question, indirect question. So the impact is shown on controls. Seventh answer is B. Mostly सबने ये आंसर किया होगा. Good. तनिषा ने B आंसर किया है. भूमिका ने भी. गुडूरी ने भी. Good. Really good. Eighth question. CA Kumar's request to Mr. Sunil Sharma has following information. What has CA Kumar requested Mr. Sunil Sharma about? Okay, so CA Kumar requests Mr. Sunil Sharma to tell him about the company's documented policy with respect to the business continuity plan and disaster recovery plan to recover from the failure. तो पहले मैं ये देखूं ये किस जनरल आईटी कंट्रोल में आ रहे थे मेरे. बिजनेस कॉन्टिन्यूटी प्लान और मेरे जो डिजास्टर रिकवरी, देखिए यहाँ पे ये कहाँ आ रहे थे? डेटा सेंटर एंड नेटवर्क ऑपरेशंस में आ रहे थे ये वाली एक्टिविटी. और इसी एक्टिविटी को लेके उसने डॉक्यूमेंट्स मांगे. सो इस पर्टिकुलर जनरल आईटी कंट्रोल का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? टू इंश्योर दैट प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम्स आर प्रोसेस्ड टू मीट फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. ये है ना जनरल आईटी कंट्रोल. कौन सा है? डेटा सेंटर एंड नेटवर्क ऑपरेशंस. और ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम्स आर प्रोसेस्ड टू मीट फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. अब इन्हीं के ऊपर क्वेश्चन है आपका. It falls under the program change type of general controls implemented in the company by the management. Incorrect हो गया because कौन सा जनरल कंट्रोल है? डेटा सेंटर एंड नेटवर्क मैनेजमेंट. His objective किसका? CA कुमार का of the request is to ensure that access to programs and data is authenticated and authorized to meet financial reporting objectives. ऑब्जेक्टिव भी डेटा सेंटर वाला नहीं है, एक्सेस सिक्योरिटी वाला है. तो किसी और प्रोग्राम का नाम लिख दिया आईटी कंट्रोल का और किसी तीसरे का ऑब्जेक्टिव लिख दिया, पर काम क्या हो रहा है? डेटा सेंटर एंड नेटवर्क ऑपरेशन वाला. तो दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स गलत हो गई. तो बोथ स्टेटमेंट्स 1 and 2 आर इनकरेक्ट. 8th का आंसर. वेरी गुड भूमिका अहमद, रियली नाइस. 9th क्वेश्चन. The audit team finds a deficiency in internal control, which means that control is designed, implemented, or operated in such a way that it is unable to dash misstatements in the financial statements on a timely basis. So, deficiency in internal control, prevent, detect or correct, prevent or correct, prevent or detect and correct. इसका आंसर सबको नॉर्मली पता ही होगा. नाइन्थ का quite simple. D, prevent or detect and correct. Definition: which of the following is a type of control deficiency or a combination of deficiencies in internal control that is important enough to merit the attention of those charged with governance, since there is a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement will not be prevented or detected in a timely manner by the management? Significant deficiency, material weakness, significant weakness, compensating control. Your answer to the 10th question. Good, Himanshu, Manisha. Logosundar, Dharshan, Ahmed, Sonali, Kuduri, Bhumika, तनिषा. तनिषा जहां पे मैंने हाईलाइट कर दिया वही आंसर नहीं है. It's a material weakness. I told you, please remember the word material with misstatement. It's material weakness. Right? So this is how case study questions are asked from you. And I'll upload this. Okay, so yes, Kiran, good. Varsha, good. So, any more doubts or queries, you may please come up with it. Darshan, try to, set a proper time schedule. Try to break your schedule into smaller parts. If you're not able to sit for longer hours, try finishing your work in shorter hours. You can study for 2 hours, then take a break, then you 15-minute break, then you can study again, try studying again, right? You need not sit for 6 to 7 hours at a stretch. It depends upon your personality, your nature, your way of studying, which gives you the best results. Efficiency and effectiveness in preparing for exams is really important. So try to maintain a schedule. Don't go for more than 3 subjects or by at a stretch 4 subjects simultaneously. Right? Okay, any more queries or questions, please? Otherwise, we'll conclude today's class and we'll meet day after tomorrow with the next chapter, audit sampling. Kiran, these notes are uploaded on the portal live. I said live.org. You'll get these notes, all these notes from over there. The notes from which we have studied, the chapter chart, the case study questions. Case study questions I'm still to upload. I think they'll be available to you by tomorrow. But everything else, the MCQ questions, the notes, the chapter chart, it is all over there. It's completely fine, Ahmed. It depends upon you. If you are studying 2 subjects a day, that is the minimum. I'm just suggesting this to someone who wants to, who says that he that particular person can study more than 2 subjects in a day. Four is the limit, Superman limit. 2 is the normal man limit. If you have less time, at least 2 subjects should be covered in one day. It is completely your prerogative, whatever you are comfortable with, but just maintain a proper time schedule and try to follow that schedule, but don't make it as if you have to follow 100% of that schedule. Don't be disappointed if you are not able to follow that schedule 100%. If you are achieving 70 to 80% of it, it is completely fine. Your success rate is 70 to 80%. It's completely fine. Nobody is able to achieve 100% success in time schedules with time schedules. Let me tell you. Anything else, please? Or we may conclude. Okay, great. Good night, everyone. Take care. Meet you day after tomorrow, and we'll start with a chapter of audit sampling, chapter 7. Take care till then. Bye bye.